Aquarius.
Hello Aquarius, this is your forecast for May 2014, and big month as if you're listening to this on the April side of the forecast, you're already in the middle of this grand square, and here in May it is going to linger into the month for a bit, so we're not all done in May, but we're getting there. Some of you are in the labor process with contractions. Some of you are in your birthing process. Some of you have already delivered, and that is what we're looking forward to. That is the joy and the celebration part, even though it can take a little pain when these planets kind of kick in. Why? Because they're digging so deeply into the core of our souls and the way we relate to the world and the world to us. And it's because Mother Earth itself is going through the very same process, and everybody included in it, okay? So there's this collective consciousness deep from within where we're all growing and we're shedding, and it's like we're changing skin like a snake, right? Or where a crab is changing its shell. And so yes, there has to be a little bit pain to get through, but the more conscious we are, the more aware we are, and we can see it, you know, already on the horizon before those changes come, so that we're more empowered to create those changes, so the changes don't come upon us like a thief in the night, which of course Uranus can be every once in a while. But you're so well attuned to Uranus. That is your ruler, and your ruling planet is one of the 4 big players of this square. So I believe that you, Aquarius, you'll be doing just great through this. In fact, I think that you're waiting more than any of the other sun signs to actually birth now and come out with this uniqueness, this creativity that you've been chanting about and communicating about. And those people around you that know you, they have seen how you've shifted here just over these last years when your ruler moved into the 3rd house of communication, your solar 3rd house, for wanting to rebel against the old structures, those structures that no longer seem to function. Why? Because you're always so way ahead of the crowd. You're very future oriented. So for you, I feel that this is really, you know, something that you're all fired up about. Regardless though, there is changes too, and some of you will see that this has to do with travel or shift or moving, some of you to other countries even if just for a time. That might just tie into your career, that your career is asking for your skill, your service, your mastery. Saturn up in your 10th house is you now taking the lead with know-how, okay, and skill. And Saturn is putting a lot of responsibility on you, so these shifts might, you know, come to affect your day-to-day routines, but you're okay, because even though you are a fixed sign that likes to have routine, you like to have structure and not necessarily that much change, but in this case I feel it's what's needed to actually burst out that incredible genius that you hold on the inside. So let's embrace it. Now, the greatest areas, it's the 3rd and the 9th house, that's communication, long distance travel, or higher education. So all this knowledge is being stretched within you and given to you. The more you can focus here without stretching yourself too thin, this is what you can benefit from when you draw into the midpoint between these 2 extremes. The other extreme you got going on, that's the 12th house and the 6th house. Pluto in the 12th, and then you got Jupiter in the 6th. Pluto is that pivotal point of transformation going on deep within your psyche, in your spirit. It's really wanting to turn things around, and you're wanting to really connect with Source, and Jupiter's helping you, because think about Source, 12th house, that's the ancient ruler Jupiter that ruled that area, and Jupiter now is opposing this house, not as the enemy shooting towards it, but it's illuminating it. you know, here, so that you can see the stage of life going on in your subconsciousness. And in this illumination, it's expanding. So Jupiter is trying to expand more room, more space for you, for your day-to-day activities, so that you can incorporate, not just now as Jupiter is transiting through this area, but it's like it's embedding into your very foundation and structure that how important it is to keep this optimism, this joy, this gratitude towards the universe in your daily life, that you can embed. Faith is a good word of for Jupiter. It's faith, it's our belief systems, it's our spirituality. Maybe some of you, in the midst of all your busyness, have started to, say, incorporate a little meditation on a daily basis, or take a 5-minute yoga, de-stressing. 12th house is all about trying to de-stress so things don't fester. Yoga and healthy routines, working out, you know, really grounding that physical energy so it doesn't really go out into tension in your muscles. You will find that between the physical, intellectual daily life and the spiritual life, well, that is what the universe wants to give to you. And once we're out of this grand square, you will have that new being that you can benefit from in years to come, probably throughout the rest of your lifetime. Now it's going to be 12 years until Jupiter gives you the same gift, the same opportunity to tweak your routines, your health, your diet, your fitness. So this is the time to shine until Jupiter moves out of this area here later this summer. And then, of course, Pluto is going to be here for a few more years in your 12th house. So anything that Jupiter can give as nutrients to this area, well, thus better, right? So let's take a look at Venus. Venus has cruised through your 2nd house for financial income here in April. And so you've been tweaking, you've been thinking, you've been looking over what income you do have, maybe possibly also thinking in very creative ways, maybe how you can change this or tweak it. Venus being creative in itself, and in the sign of Pisces, well, that's a lot of great extra, shall I say, imagination that you could put towards this. Now, already here on the 3rd of May, it's moving out of your financial house into communication and travel. So some of you might see now from May 3rd and throughout the month that Venus wants to move about a little bit. It wants, you know, to come out and see friends and family that you may not have had time to. You can interact a little bit more perhaps with your siblings, and you might just be receiving visitors yourself. Then we have on the 4th, the Sun and Pluto here together in a beautiful golden trine. This is going to be very empowering to you. Pluto there in the 12th and the Sun here in the 4th house. So together what they're going to do is going to balance out something in the home and family environment. Maybe, you know, you're going to spend a little bit more time to actually not just put down roots, literally said. Some of you may be moving here this month. In that sense, it's great. Others might just be out in the yard digging into the ground, which Pluto does really well when it's allowed to, and it filtering through the Sun, which is you. That is the best way you can ground any Pluto energy, Plutonian energy. Then we also have a great, beautiful sextile here, the Sun and Jupiter on the 6th. So this is good. There's great news. Jupiter is in your 6th house, and so it's between your home and family, your day-to-day health, and also communication here with peers or employees perhaps as well. Great time for good news. Animals come in under this as well, so you might have a new pet coming in, joining the family, maybe. And then on the 7th, we have Mercury. Mercury is going to be moving here into, let's see, yes, into Gemini. I had to look at the chart there. Moving into Gemini here, and this is going to be a very chatty month. And for you, this communication, it's in your sister sign. So for you, I think the exchange of ideas, could be really good and interesting for you. You will also come to see that it's in the 5th house for creative projects. So maybe some of you might be fine-tuning, writing down, exchanging, and cooperating perhaps on a personal project. Not necessarily a career project, though it very well could be as well. And we have the new moon in this very same area, Aquarius, and this will happen on May 14th. So for those of you thinking of wanting to start up a business, great time to do so. Even if you can't get it up and running here in May, it's a great time to put down those new moon intentions and say, you know, this year I will complete it, because that's going to power up this area of your chart. And I have to say that for you, this could definitely, you know, bring in some extra income for you as well. So you know, check out your talents, okay? Hobbies and so forth that could indicate new income stream. Then we have on the 11th, Venus and Mars. They're a little bit at odds, so you know, it could be a relationship issue surfacing on this day. It could also just be the inner relationship you have with yourself. If you're single, we always have Venus and Mars on the inside, and that's the primary relationship, regardless if we're in an external relationship. But we always have that inner chatter going on, especially for you here when Venus is in the 3rd house of communication, okay? You want to monitor yourself. You know, this inner voice, you know, when we think, is it positive? Does it bring you up? Does it pat you on the back and help you to move forward? You know, you always need to be your own very best friend, because that inner voice you can't escape. It's going to be with you. Make sure it's your best friend forever, you know, or it could be difficult. So the primary relationship, we always want Venus and Mars to be in a positive, so that we, first and foremost, balance ourselves. When we are whole, it's that much easier to have a full-blown, full-ended, rounded relationship with your external spouse or partner or lover. So, but it's going to be a little bit at odds with each other on the 15th, and then Mercury might also communicate something a little faulty or a little shady, maybe not intentionally, but when Mercury and Neptune get together in a square, well, the intention might be good, but maybe the wording is coming out wrong. And so that might create a little tension here in the following couple of days, when Venus then not only has it now opposed Mars, but now it's squaring up to Pluto. And Venus and Pluto don't do well when they're square. You know, that's like war. You know, so it could bring ego tensions up to the surface. But see, if you're wise, okay, if this misunderstanding is on the 11th, if you're wise, you will confront it right away the next day. If something is still not sitting with you, or you thought you heard something wrong, well, encounter that on the 12th, and you will be able to achieve clarity, so your square won't be negative on the 14th. If you don't do it, you allowed it to slide, well, here comes that situation up on the 14th, and okay, so now we have a new little discussion or disagreement coming up, just like we did on the 11th, and it might just be even more powerful. And why? Not only because now we have 2 in a row, but Mars is trigger happy this month, okay? And I want you to download that word mentally and keep it in the back of your mind, because Mars is so feisty when it is up against both Pluto and Uranus this month, you know, here in April too. So, you know, we might be more reactive and say, I'm not putting up with this, you know. And here we go. And whatever you do, do not try to put a compromise, which I know a lot of people like to do when they feel like they're up in a corner, or they really want validation. Venus here is love, and it wants validation, so it may be pushing here to the ultimate, you know, outer edge with Pluto. Those ultimatums never work. They backfire. You'd be very lucky if an ultimatum will work for you, because see, when you push somebody to that extreme with an ultimatum, they end up resenting it. Okay, so you're actually pushing them away. And then you're self-sabotaging, shooting yourself in the foot. So do not be trigger happy. The best you can do now under this little test here on the 14th is to just take it easy. You know, cool it off, lay low, do not be reactive, and wait for the following day. So the universe is really quick right now. It's back to back, high, low, high, low, high, low, right? So if you hold your horses on the 14th, especially because this is a full moon, okay, on the 14th when Venus is square Pluto, not only is it full, but it is also passing here right with Saturn. So a full moon Saturn here makes things even more serious. It's like the end of the world. You know, I really need to know if he or she loves me and all this and that. And then we have chaos. So, and Mars being trigger happy, here comes the compromise or the ultimatum, I mean. It is going to get messy. However, be smart. If you hold to the 15th, Mercury is going to come in and support that Venus with a sextile. It will come in and it will surprise you with Uranus. And Mercury is also going to be sextiling Uranus. So what you thought here, say the 13th, 14th, that things are really, your world's falling apart in this relationship, and you're wanting to throw an ultimatum out there, shooting yourself in the foot, self-sabotaging. If you don't do that, you will see from that first misconception on the 11th, what wasn't really, didn't come out the way it should, you will see how it's surprisingly going to turn around you, and then probably this partner is going to come and give you exactly what it was you hoped for, wished for, without you having to create all the drama and the self-sabotage. So hold your horses. This is wisdom. Knowledge is one thing, but knowledge can be destructive. Okay? So I'm really excited to see how it's going to work out for you, because here not only are we through yet, but then on the 18th, in this situation, Venus is going to come around squared by Jupiter, and Jupiter is just wanting to make sure, was this real, this good news, this turnaround situation? You know, and that might just be your doubts, or it could be your partner's doubts coming to you. Did you really mean what you promised, right? So it's going to stand up to the test, you know, and test the very fabric of this relationship. The Uranus-Venus conjunction is going to be in the 3rd house. So this is all communication. Then Venus is going to be squared by the 6th house. So that has, which is in Cancer. So once again, we're seeing all the sensitivities, you know, where it's not just you, it's also whoever is involved on the other end, the other side of the stick. They're also sensitive. They're also needing some validation, okay? So, you know, I see it so many times when I speak with clients that they don't want to be the first one to you know, let out what they feel for their partner, not really thinking that the other partner is also needing validation from you. We have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable in relationships so that we can achieve the higher level of it. So what's wrong about, you know, sharing your heart? There's nothing wrong in it. It's only ego that fears, because what if you get rejected, right? But that's ego. The heart, true love, unconditional love, is never afraid to express love. Now, this is going to be your test between the 11th and the 18th, and that was a lot of words, so let's just move on to the rest of the month. And then we have the Sun moving into your sister sign of Gemini on the 20th, which is really going to lift your spirits. You've just healed through this whole week, so right now, moving into the sign of communication, you are just going to feel that not only that you're going to be communicating and sharing well, but the Sun is moving into your 5th house of joy and creativity. It's the inner child coming out to play. And so it's all about self-expression and love and relationships. Here for the rest of this month, the Sun loves being in this space. So look forward to it. Then you have Jupiter and Saturn coming in on the 24th, which is going to anchor down this very vision that you've been working on, I'd like to say, from October, and then you were challenged again here at New Year's. But here we go again, okay? So now what's coming in is that Saturn is saying you've worked and labored so hard for what you believe in. Here, we're going to put an anchor here, you know, so it solidifies. Followed by great news here on the 28th. Again, there is Venus communicating with Mercury. So I'm seeing your channel, your pipeline to your partner is doing good. And then Venus moving into, ingressing into Taurus, which will be into your 4th house, which is family. So we're concluding this month here at the end by moving into wanting to put down roots, beautifying your home, expanding your home. Some of you might even be thinking of moving and will be moving here in May, coming into June. Great time for it. You're being supported that this shall go very, very well off. Plus, having the energy to do it too, because the Sun and Mars are going to be trine, and you need that physical energy to get moving all these boxes around, or if you're going to be rearranging your furniture. So it's a good month all in all, and the best of it is that we are now birthing into this new paradigm that's going to open doors to new dimensions after you've peeled off all the old. Whatever needs to go, so be it, let it go, so you can start opening up and receiving all that new. So, hey, listen, Aquarius, I am really excited about June. Been looking, sneak peeking into it. And so once, you know, this space weather is moving out, we'll see what is coming up for you. So do subscribe to get your reading next month. And in the meanwhile, do listen to your moon and rising sign. And why? Well, this very grand square is in your solar chart, the way we expressed it here. But if you listen to your rising sign, sometimes that will give you a different perspective, because that square is in different areas. So you got pressure going on more than in what we see here. You got it here too. So you want to see what it is, and that will just give it a fuller read. Same thing with your moon sign. So take care. I'll see you next time.